Hey, how's it going, everybody? We're almost at the noon hour, and I'm already over here by the Christkindlmarket, the Christkindlmarket, the correct name to say it, the German Christmas village here, Chicago, Illinois, Daley Plaza. You see the Picasso. So this is the line to get in. We're already 11:59. We're not even at noon. This thing opens at 11 a.m. I, of course, was at work today. This is Tuesday, November the 25th, 2025. And so I'm so glad we went to this thing last Friday. We were able to just walk right in. Hey, and here's the line to get in at the noon hour, right at noon. I came over here early and started this thinking I might be able to just walk in, but we'll just have to check out the rerun from Friday at the live tab. We went inside the Christkindlmarket. We'll try it again next week, and if we're by here and there's not a line, I'm just not on my lunch hour from work. I'm not going to wait a half an hour in a line just to go in something we just went into on Friday last week. We got a rerun here, the Christkindlmarket. It's the same stuff. We got a good overview, but hey, I just want to show how long the lines there are. Thanks for tuning in there, Krista and Sabrina, Suburban Garden, Julie Reed. How you doing there, Julie? Michael Rodriguez, how you doing there? Yeah, good afternoon there, XRT fan. Peace, please. Prince, Wayne. Yeah, thanks everybody. Here's Jen. Yeah, Michael, here's the Chris Kringle here. Aisha, James, GMJ. Here's the Christkindlmarket here, Chicago. This is the line to get in. So it wraps around the corner there, wraps around the corner both ways. Two lines, and it's been like this since the first day it opened to the public on Friday. So here, we'll head through here. We'll see how long this line wraps around. So we'll just do our normal lunchtime loop walk. We'll probably end it over by the ice skating rink there, either Millennium Park or Maggie Daley. We'll circle around here, but hey, we got 12:01 in the PM here, Chicago, Illinois. This is the line to get in the Christkindlmarket here at Daley Plaza. Both ways, the line both ways wraps around the corner. And here we're at Washington and Clark Street. We were here yesterday. The line was just as long. I thought, apparently this line must start forming right at 11 o'clock when this thing opens. So here we'll head up Clark Street. We'll probably go over to LaSalle and tootle around the loop since we're already over here. Here's the City Hall. Yeah, Belle, how you doing there? Tree Town, Jen, Belle, how's everybody doing here? So, yeah, the line is pretty long. Getting the Christkindlmarket here. Here's all electricity, power supply. Yeah, we got inside here. So if you want to see what this looks like, check out the rerun from Friday, the live tab. I cut out reruns both on TikTok and YouTube. There's the back of the Christkindlmarket. We'll head up past the construction of the Thompson Center here, Clark and Randolph, the old State of Illinois building now being renovated for Google Alphabet office space. Look how nice that curtain wall looks. I can't wait to, hopefully they'll reopen that food court and we'll be able to go inside that big atrium that Helman Jan designed. That Google restored here and fixed the glass. Yeah, we'll head across. This is Clark Street, City Hall, Chicago, Illinois. Clark and Randolph Street. There's the last of the curtain wall, but there, it looks pretty nice there. Yeah, hello Lunch Bunch. Sheridan, how you doing there? Lady Weiser. So the long line was for the Christkindlmarket. The Christkindlmarket. With all my live streams, if you miss something I say, you can rewind. You can rewind. You can go back to the beginning of the video. There's a little slider on the bottom. And I don't know if it works on your phone, if you have to go to the YouTube webpage if you're watching it there. But people told me when they're watching it live, if you miss me say something or where I'm at, you can rewind if I don't say it often enough. Here's the rat. So they must be using non-union labor here. Google's developer Phoenix uses non-union labor. That's what it says there. They got the rat in front of the, here's City Hall here. They got the Cook County building. They got the wreath here. They got the media here. Here's the, there, general contractor. There, look at that. Here's the red. How you doing? So, hey, they're doing a nice. People maybe got married. I think, yeah, there's a wedding going on here. Yeah, very nice here, City Hall. I guess you can still get married by the Justice of the Peace. My grandparents on my mother's side got married by the Justice of the Peace. It was a real shotgun wedding. You can ask my uncle about it. Here's the Cadillac Palace Theater here on LaSalle and Randolph here. Wow, I like this nice booth here, nice fashion. Here's LaSalle Street. Let's head down LaSalle Street. Let's show this beautiful historic architecture here. Your cousin works there? That's good. So, Ram, do you live in Chicago? Why do you care so much about the mayor of Chicago? I guess you have business in Chicago that the mayor's ruining. Yeah. If you're from Chicago, that's your right to not like our mayors, you know, I understand that. And what does it have to do with me? I'm just a guy that lives here. I moved here in 1999. We went through a long succession of mayors. I'm sure you didn't like any of them. But maybe you like Daley the second. There's Icarus. Did you like Rahm Emanuel? Are you going to vote for Rahm Emanuel? He might run for president. He was mayor of Chicago at one time. You don't have to worry about Brandon Johnson running for president. Here's City Hall. Hey, Chicago, Illinois, Purple Heart City. Purple Heart City here. Yeah, we thank the veterans. People played the ultimate sacrifice. Here, if you just joined, we're on LaSalle Street, Chicago, Illinois. You can complain about Chicago politics, Chicago crime. You can hate our mayor, but it's not going to change. Us complaining here in the comments is not going to do anything. It just undermines our helplessness. And you're in my helplessness. All we can resort to is complaining in the comments like it's going to change anything. We show the world as it is, not as we want it to be. And but it's still good to have the discussion. And so here we'll cross LaSalle Street. There's the elevated train there. Look at that. It's heading up Wabash. Here's the Board of Trade here. Yeah, we'll head right down LaSalle Street. We'll head towards the Sari statue atop the Chicago Board of Trade. Look at these amazing buildings. This is why I like walking down LaSalle Street. You got these amazing Art Deco vintage skyscrapers from the 1920s. Look at this amazing density. Most of them are just 44 stories tall, low 40s. But these were built before they enacted the setbacks. And that's why the LaSalle, well, it's the old Fields building, the LaSalle State building, the LaSalle State Bank building they're converting to housing, is set back because they created setbacks with the zoning in the 1920s. New York did the same thing because buildings were, especially like on LaSalle Street, they were like, the sun never shines. The sun can't get over these tall buildings. We gotta set them back. Yeah, these are about 44 stories tall, I think. They look taller than they are. You know, the Crew Tower in Cincinnati is 49 stories tall, which was built in 1930, and the only one of the rare buildings that rival the Board of Trade, just like the Cleveland has the tower there right in the center of the city, which was the tallest building in Cleveland for a long time, and I think now they finally have one taller, just like Cincinnati does. But Chicago, the Board of Trade was the tallest building from the end of the Great Depression, or the start of the Great Depression when it was built, till the Prudential One was built. Prudential One was built in the late 1950s. And then the John Hancock just blew all these out of the water, over 1,100 feet tall, literally twice the height of that Sari statue, over twice the height. It's like 550 feet. The 45 story. I don't know how many stories are in the Board of Trade, maybe 42. But here, LaSalle Street, LaSalle and Madison, the heart of the financial district historically of Chicago. Now this is largely being converted to housing, and there are some banks like the State Bank of India and a few other things. And there's still the U.S. Bank has a presence here, CBIC, and the Mercantile Exchange is over on Wacker. Here's Madison Street, the Chase buildings there. But here's these buildings we were looking at. Hey, we got the light here. We'll cross Madison. There's that bus in Chicago, Illinois. We got about 51 degrees. Madison and LaSalle. See, it's right in the buildings there. Yeah, see, there's a residence in here. There's a Marriott hotel in this one. That used to be the Bank of India. Even the Bank of India moved out of here, so even the Bank of India doesn't have a presence here. 10 South of Sal. We go by Northern Trust. And the Federal Reserve has a office by the Board of Trade here. Hey, Christopher's tuning in there. Jason's tuning in. Thanks, everybody there. Yeah, what's shaking there? Yeah. Doing good there, Denise. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, I can't read your name there. Yeah, Hasmarin, BB Jerry, D-Lime Tea Time. How you doing there, Denise? Never surrender. The dream still lives. The dream will never die. So look at the mid-century modern contrasted with these Neo-Renaissance revival styles, especially like this. Look at these columns on Northern Trust. Right here we'll cross back and forth here, Monroe. The Northern Trust Company here. Safe deposit vaults, not just boxes. They got whole vaults you can rent. Yeah, let's head over here. No, this is Chicago. So welcome to Chicago. We just left LaSalle Street. That was the Board of Trade. I know we get confused with New York City, but almost anybody that lives in Manhattan or the five boroughs of New York would not confuse Chicago for New York. You could easily tell the streets aren't as crowded. The streets are clean. That's a joke. That's an inside joke. But yeah, see, there's the Sears Tower. That's the Sears Tower, Chicago, Illinois, 1,400 feet. We're seeing the full height of it here from Monroe Street or Monroe, and those elevated train tracks are over Wells Street. Maybe we'll get the train going by. But this is the old AT&T building. It's not old, but the building was built in the late 1980s. Sears Tower was built in the mid-1970s, like 75, 76. It was topped out. Here comes some sirens. Chicago, Illinois, United States of America, planet Earth. How you doing here? Happy Tuesday. I started this live. We were at Daily Plaza at the Christkindlmarket, but there was a line to get in. I'm not going to wait in a line on my lunch break. We'll try it later in the season. Here comes an ambulance or sirens or fire truck or something's coming this way. Ambulance. So here we'll let it go through here. So 74 has been busy today. That's the second time we saw 74. It was out this morning on Michigan Avenue. The local ambulance here, a lot of them are housed at firehouses, fire stations in the loop and around the loop here. This is Wells Street, the western end of the loop here. So here we'll cross. Hey, people waving hello there. See how they number the columns here for the support beams. Here comes the train here. Yeah, we'll get the there's an orange line, I can't tell. Yeah, orange line for Midway. There it is. Heading up Wells Street there. Came from Midway Airport, orange line, Chicago, Illinois. Hey, the 205 West Monroe building. Yeah. We'll head over to at least Franklin. Maybe we'll just head over to the river. Yeah, we could try that. You went to the observation deck of the Sears? Yeah, 2019 deep dish. That's good, Larry. That's great. Thanks for checking out the view from the tower there. That's a nice view. You do the ledge where you go in the glass bottom windows that overhang the side of the building. You can look straight down from the top of the Sears Villas Tower. That's great. Get your deep dish Chicago style pizza. Very nice. Yeah. Thanks, Sarah, for tuning in there. Yeah. Google. Yeah, we went by the Google headquarters there. Hola. Thanks for tuning in there. RDS. Yeah, thanks for tuning in. Yeah, we've been doing this for about 3 years. I've been doing lunch walks on YouTube for almost 2 years now. We've been doing TikTok for longer. And now I'm live streaming almost exclusively on YouTube. We still go on TikTok every great once in a while, but we streamed at the Lincoln Park Zoo Lights last night. There's the Sears Tower. Look at that nice view you get right here from Monroe. It's almost in the clouds. It was in the clouds this morning. There's the top of the Sears Tower, the Willis Tower, Chicago, Illinois. This is looking south on Franklin Street at Monroe here. See Monroe and Franklin, Chicago, Illinois. Thanks for tuning in here. We'll wait for the light. Yeah, we're getting the light. So we'll cross Franklin Street. It's looking south. It's looking north. We'll head over to the Riverwalk. Yeah, imagine this channel without you, John. Mods, can you do me a favor? If any mods are tuning in, please mute John. And I'm almost tempted to permanently delete you, John, because that's an idiotic statement. Yes, I said that. That's a dumb statement. And I don't agree with it. I want to disassociate it with myself from it. I want to remove you from my chat, show you what I really think about you making such a statement like that. And even if you're joking, that's just not something to joke about, especially in this age of, well, we won't even go there. But hey, thanks for tuning in there. Mary Trees, thanks so much. Thanks for tuning in. You see what they wrote there, you know, and I don't care if they were joking or not. You know, they just, they were just trying to push your buttons, and they pushed them. So hey, you want to play stupid games, win stupid prizes? Here, make our day. So hey, thanks for tuning in here. Welcome to Monroe. Thanks for being on, Mary Trees and everybody else. Yeah, I think Anita's feeling under the weather there, so hopefully Anita will feel better here soon. Yeah, let's head across here. Let's get across Wacker Drive. We got time. See, look where that police officer turned. That's how you can get down to lower Wacker Drive. Blues Brothers, we were talking about that this morning. But here we'll head over towards the Chicago River here. There's the Sears Tower. Look how the top of it's obscured by clouds there. Look at that. There's a skyscraper today. How you doing? So here we'll head across Monroe here. Yeah, I don't even want to Michael, I don't even want to repeat what they said. It wasn't that they used offensive words. It was the offensive meaning behind the statement. It was anti-human. And on this Thanksgiving week, where we're supposed to give Thanksgiving to our fellow man, and we got it even filming I was just trying to, that's what I get, because every once in a while I do dabble talking about politics. I know I attract those types of statements just by people resisting what I'm saying, but this is my channel. We're going to run it the way I want to run it. And Mary Therese and everybody else, I defer to my mods, wide discretion. Every day I get messages from people, you know, oh, I was accidentally deleted. I'm like, what you say? They won't repeat it. I'm like, you had to say something. Or it was misinterpreted or taken out of context, or people, we didn't understand it was a joke. You know, even D. Michael got blocked for one of his jokes because we didn't understand it, and it wasn't, you know, mistakes happen. Here's the, but we got him back here, so we correct our mistakes if we can. Here's the Chicago River. Welcome to Chicago. Welcome. We're underneath the Mercantile Exchange. Remember I was talking about the Chicago Board of Trade, Chicago Board of Exchange? Well, this is the Chicago Mercantile Exchange above us. Largest futures market in the world. You know, CNBC in the morning that they go to Rick Santelli there. It's because they're doing all the commodities and the futures in Chicago. And it still is traded. It goes back to the Board of Trade. That used to be the Chicago Daily News. It's now Riverside Plaza. That used to be Ogilvy Center. It used to be Citicorp Building. Now it's Accenture Towers. Everything used to be something else. Even the Sears Tower. Or the Willis Tower used to be the Sears. I still call it the Sears. Here's the Lyric Opera Bridge, Madison Street. Let's see what time we got here. 12:18. Good. We might have time to get all the way back to Millennium Park. Let's see here. How do we want to do this? Yeah, this is the river that goes green. You're exactly right. This is the Chicago River. We filmed it. You can watch reruns. I have reruns, plenty of reruns, both on TikTok and YouTube from last year. We tried to cover it live until I lost my connection. We had 4,000 people watch, and I lost my connection because of the crowds. It's really hard to live stream the dying of the river green, but we got it back. 1,000 people watched it live there. We cut out reruns there. It was in March. They dyed the Chicago River green. But here, yeah, we'll head across here. We'll head across the Monroe Street Bridge. No, this is Madison. That's Monroe. We're on the Madison Street Bridge. This is 2 North Riverside Plaza. There's the water taxi. Sometimes we take the water taxi. It'll get you down to Chinatown and over to Navy Pier if you take it the whole way, or at least to the Michigan Avenue stop. Yeah, Lambie, Alicia, Julie, tea time, T-line, tea time. Christy, how you doing there? Margie, coffee, yeah. Yeah, get to change into the seasons here. It's 2 North Riverside Plaza. You can connect to Ogilvie Station, the Metro. Union Station is that way. There's the Mercantile Exchange we were just talking about. Here we'll head over up the Riverside Plaza here. Here's where you catch the water taxi. You go down there. They got a waiting area that you can connect right to. This will get you across Canal Street, connect to the Metro Station there. Here's the Civic Opera building, one that looks like a throne from the back. Backs up to the river. Here's the Riverside Plaza. One of the largest buildings initially built on air rights, just like the Merchandise Mart, and even the First Prudential Tower is technically built on railroad air rights. Built on top of rail yards. There's rail yards underneath this that feed Union Station. There's the Bank of America Tower. So the Bank of America used to be the primary tenant in the Fields building, the one that's being redeveloped for housing. That's why it's vacant. People are like, look, people moved out of Chicago. I'm like, no, they just moved down the street. They moved from over there in the loop to here. They built a new tower, and that's why they vacated it. As large as the Field building is, the floor plates weren't large enough. They want these big, huge open floor plates like that. And that's why the old post office building is great for adaptive reuse. You get these huge, in the Merchandise Mart, you get these huge 2-block long floor plates that are hard to find in any other city. That much square footage on one floor where your corporate office is there. But nobody works in the office anymore, right? But here we'll head over, yeah, this is Randolph Street here. Is this Randolph? No. Going, yeah, let's cross here. No, this is not Randolph. This is Washington Street. This is Washington Street. I'm always one off here. Randolph's the next one. So we'll head up to Randolph Street. We'll stay up here so we don't have to go down the stairs. But we can still see the river here. Actually, let's go under the Bank of America building. I like that walkway on the other side there. See, we can go under these structural. See, all that holds up the whole side of that building, and it's right on the river. You know, where do you look at the elevated train there heading across the Lake Street Bridge, and they're working on the Lake Street Bridge. That's why we can't walk across there. Otherwise, I would go up to Lake Street. But here, Chicago, Illinois. We're walking across the Chicago River at Washington Street. We're going to head up this way, and we'll head up to the Riverwalk, and we'll head back towards Millennium Park. Actually, let's walk straight across the loop instead of the Riverwalk's kind of. We'll stick around for this boat. I'll show you this plaza. We'll walk straight across Randolph Street. I'll go up to Randolph Street. We'll walk back through the Theater District, and we'll head straight over to Millennium Park that way. And then we can get the ice skating rink. I'll have plenty of time. If I go the Riverwalk, I might take up too much time. We'll catch this Leela riverfront river architectural tour boat going by Lucia. It's Lucia. But here's underneath the Bank of America Tower here, Chicago, Illinois, the Chicago River. There's the Boeing building. Used to be SBC Ameritech. Here's the Randolph Street Bridge. Here's Lucia. Look at the Tuning Fork building. And there's the Salesforce Tower. There's Lucia. This is Chicago. I just said it 5 times. This is Chicago. You understand? Capiche? This is Chicago. Thanks. This is the Chicago River, the Bank of America building, Lucia, Washington Boulevard here, Chicago, Illinois, United States of America, planet Earth. Does New York have a river running through this town? Yes, it does. It has the East River, which is much bigger than this, and it has the Hudson, which is orders of magnitude larger. And here's the Washington Boulevard. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it. Let's go over and check out the Millennium Park here. We'll go over to the ice skating rink there, Millennium Park. we got to walk about 6-7 blocks across the loop here, so we'll head straight across. We got 1224. Thanks for tuning in here. Yeah, Chicago loves you. Yeah, I am angry. You don't understand how angry I am. For me to keep my composure and talk like jovially, like nothing's going on, I'm usually angry every single day. Ask my mods. I'm a very angry personality, so if you don't like it, watch something else. I understand here. But we try to be as nice as possible. We try to be polite. But if you don't give us respect, we won't give you respect back. It's you teach people how to treat you. That's what the internet has taught us. Here, Washington Street, Lyric Opera. Yeah, let's show the Lyric Opera, the overhang here, the covered walkway, the Lyric Opera House here. Of course, you got the operas here. Let's see what's playing at the opera here. The 2025-26 season here. Medea, Coco in concert. There's all the go to lyricopera.org here. Look at the beautiful underneath here of the we got the light here. Let's cross. So here, Wacker Drive. Yeah, Sears Tower's down that way. You can't see it because it's in the clouds there. You can turn around. And we're at Washington Street, Wacker Drive, Chicago, Illinois. We're gonna walk across the loop. It's my lunch walk here. That's why I'm downtown. People are like, well, you promote downtown. I'm like, I work downtown. This is easy for me on my lunchtime. Just walk across here. It's always something new we come across. Like the line at the Christkindlmarket. I tried to get into Christkindlmarket at the beginning there, but there was lines already at noon. It opened at 11. There was already a line a half hour long both ways to get in there. I don't have time for that. We already saw it on Friday last week anyway. So if you go to the live tab on my YouTube there, you can watch a rerun of the Christkindlmarket. We walked through there on Friday. And you gotta, it took us a while, like 15 minutes to walk over there. So fast forward like 15 minutes into the video. I think I cut it out and put it in the video, but I don't know if anybody finds that. I actually clipped out the portion where we were at the Christkindl, but I don't know if you'll see that. But you have to go to the videos tab to see that. But I cut out a bunch of reruns. We went to the Lincoln Park Zoo lights last night on YouTube, and so there's a bunch of shorts, clips, 3 minutes long. I broke the whole thing down into segments, and then we'll get it over to TikTok and maybe do a montage or something. But here we're on Washington Street here at Franklin, and there's a nice view to the Sears Tower. We'll see if it's in the clouds here. Loop of Chicago, we got about 50 degrees here, 12:27 in the PM, Central Standard Time here, Chicago, Illinois. And I'm just walking through the loop on my lunch break here. Yeah, did you see the Dancer in the Snow Globe? We saw that on Thursday night. I happened to walk over there Thursday night before we went to the Bloomingdale's Mall tree lighting, and that's when they had the snow globe. If you go to my pinned videos, Lux, she's Chicago Vista. She's a fellow Chicago live streamer that live streams and content creator here in Chicago. She went there that same night, Thursday, and she was able to get Krampus in there with the ballerina. The ballerina with Krampus, Santa's evil brother there, an actor dressed in a full Krampus costume, was in the snow globe, and Lux, Chicago Vista, she got it there, and it's pinned to my my repost there on TikTok. You go to my repost on TikTok, I reposted hers because I thought she did a good job and got Krampus there, because I did not see Krampus, I just saw the ballerina. But we saw the snow globe, and that wasn't there today. I think they just do that for special events. But hey, Thursday this week is Thanksgiving in the United States, and of course New York has the big Macy's parade. We have a smaller parade in Chicago on State Street in front of our Macy's, and so I'll get there early with Chicago Nuggies, and we'll film at 8 o'clock on Thursday. Here's the pink line. The pink line's pulling out of the Washington and Wells station here. Or maybe it's Madison and Wells. I think it's Madison and Wells. No, it's Washington and Wells. It's Washington and Wells station. There's your trains coming there. Washington and Wells, Chicago, Illinois. We're heading straight across the loop on Randolph here. Oops, sorry. No, we're on Washington Street. I keep doing this. We're on Washington Street. I'm glad I picked Washington Street because it aligns with the Christmas tree of Millennium Park. Randolph Street is a block north of us. We're on Washington Street heading east. And we'll head right by. Well, this is good. We can head right by Daley Plaza. We'll see if the line's gotten any shorter or longer, if it's about the same. I probably expect it to be about the same. I bet that line's that long all afternoon and all weekend. People trying to get into the Christkindlmarket here at Daley Plaza. Here's the Link bus station here on Washington Street. It'll get you from Ogilvy Union over to Millennium Park. Yeah, you knew Wednesday was Chicago. Thanks, Brian. Thanks for tuning in there. Yeah, happy early Thanksgiving there. Thanks, Denise. Yeah, Dub T, how you doing there? Vita, DMJ. So here we're going to cross LaSalle Street. You get this nice view to the Board of Trade. Look at that nice view you get to the Board of Trade, LaSalle Street, Chicago, Illinois. We walked down this street earlier in this live. I'm kind of retracing my steps. We're going to head back to Millennium Park here. But here's the Washington Street. We'll head right past Daley Plaza here. Here's the City Hall on this side. Know your rights. You got to fight for your right to party. Happy Thanksgiving. Thanks, Aisha. Angie Love. I hope everybody has a good Thanksgiving week. Safe travels. I know some people are traveling. I'm thankful. This is the first year I have not traveled in many years. I usually travel to visit my father or my sister. We're going to do it over Christmas. We're going to take a nice trip down to Texas and hopefully spend more time down there. So snow might hit this weekend on Friday and Saturday. So I'm glad I don't have to mess with travel. And then we can just film the snow. We'll film the Thanksgiving parade. But hey, if you just joined, we're in Chicago. We're on Washington Street. We got 12:31 in the PM here, Loop of Chicago. We got about 51 degrees. We're going to head right. We're going to show you the line to get into Christkindlmarket, the German Christmas market here in Daley Plaza. And thankfully, I got in there on Friday, so we got reruns. I'm not waiting this line. I think the line's just as long as it was when I filmed it a half an hour ago. Right at noon, we started this live right here, and there was already a line. So if you want to go see this, be prepared to wait in a line, especially on weekends. And we'll try to hit it next week when the initial novelty wears off, and hopefully there won't be a line every single day. We'll if there is, we'll let you know. But here's it wraps around the block here, wraps around Clark and Washington. This is Daley Plaza, Chicago, Illinois. This is the Christkindlmarket. This is the line to get into the German village market here. And then you can go in there and get your gluten wine. You can get your all your food. They got schnitzel and almonds and everything, roasted almonds. Hey, people are wearing shorts. But here we're going to head over to Millennium Park. But here's the welcome into the Christkindlmarket, Chicago. This is the line to get in both ways, both this way and that way. How you doing, Glenn? Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Appreciate it. It's good. So here, So here we'll go to the Channel 2 News here. We'll check out the digital screen here. We'll see if they got the weather report maybe. They're talking about the airport. They're talking about the travel delays potentially at the airport because of Thanksgiving and the shutdown reverberations. Hey, let's see if we can get across the street here. Maybe try to get across here the last. Yeah, good. We made it. I didn't want to wait for the light there. Here, Channel 2 News. There's Daley Plaza, the Christkindlmarket. There's lines. See the line's even longer. The line's even longer from when it was when we first started here. So here we'll head over to Millennium Park. We'll get the ice skating by the bean there. See if we got time to get to the Maggie Daley, which I think we do. We only have 12:33 here, so we should have enough time to go all the way to the Maggie Daley ice skating ribbon. And the reason I'm doing this so much now, I'm most likely going to work from home tomorrow. So tonight we'll do the Michigan Avenue lights on Michigan Avenue. I'll just walk home from work as usual after 5 o'clock on YouTube. Tomorrow, if I feel motivated enough after it gets dark, maybe we'll head up to Wrigleyville and go check out the Gallagher Way Christkindlmarket at Wrigley Field. They got a smaller one up there. And I figure Wednesday night, a lot of people will be traveling, just trying to get out of the city. Maybe it won't be that crowded up there. And we can see if any of the bars along Clark Street are decorated for the holidays there. There's the Muddy Waters mural there. This is State Street. There's the Pineapple Hotel there, the Reliance building. Here we'll go across Macy's Marshall Fields. We already showed the window displays. We'll cross State Street. And there's Muddy Waters. There's State Street looking south. There's State Street looking north up to Chicago Theater. All the trumpets of Macy's. The Norman Rockwell clocks. And yeah, let's check out the beautiful scene here. We were here on Saturday night. It looked really nice at night. I thought I cut out a rerun, but I guess they must have had music in it or something that they didn't let me post it. But we filmed the countdown to the tree lighting. I wasn't able to live stream it, but we got the footage there on YouTube and TikTok. This is Macy's Marshall Fields. We're on Washington Street heading towards Millennium Park. We'll show you the lighted official Christmas tree once we get to it here. Yeah, I'm like 6'1". I just hold it in my hand, you know. I got a gimbal, you know. Here I am. See, you know, I just hold the camera in my hand here at kind of torso level. That guy's taller than I am. Jody GTV is much taller than I am. He like Ernesto Chicago Nuggie says he's 7 feet tall. I don't think he's quite 7 feet, but he's clearly 6 inches taller than I am. Jody GTV, who streams in Chicago, is a very tall man, which is great, and he's very athletic. He can do his chin-ups there on the CTA. Here, let's get under Wabash here. I'm always rushing to get across the street here before the light changes. We'll go under Wabash Avenue. That's looking north towards the Trump Tower. Here's Wabash underneath the elevated tracks. Those lighted beams are that way. If you want to see the lighted beams underneath, it's between just north of the Adams station. And here, let's see if we can get across the street here. Here's the Pittsfield building. That's the Washington and Wabash station on the loop of Chicago right there we just passed. Hey, let's head over to Millennium Park, see if people are ice skating. We still got leaves on the trees. It's a month from Christmas, November the 25th, 2025, and we still got yellow leaves on the trees. We'll see if the train goes by here. I hear the train coming. There it is. There's that orange line. Here we'll go by the Cultural Center. We'll wait to go across the street here. Hey, Chicago Toxic Donut, how you doing there? Andy's tuning in from England. How you doing there, Andy Bull? Yeah, this is the Chicago Cultural Center. It used to be Chicago Library. We talk about the story after the Great Chicago Fire. When Queen Victoria learned about the Great Chicago Fire, she assumed Chicago lost its books and its library burnt down. The funny thing, Chicago didn't have a library at that time. It was such a new city that it didn't have a lot of the public institutions that you would expect of a city this size. And so, thanks to Queen Victoria, she donated thousands of her books, and they did end up in the Chicago Library, in that library, before they built the Harold Washington, and then now it's the Cultural Center. So hey, let's head across Michigan Avenue and we'll check out the official Christmas tree. There it is. There's the official Christmas tree for Millennium Park in Chicago. It's a 68-foot spruce donated by the Mason family from Glenview, Illinois, a suburb of Chicago. And they lit it on Friday. We covered that. There's the Wrigley building. Let's look north on Michigan. Here's looking south, and there's the street wall. Hey, let's check out people ice skating here. Are they clearing people off? Sometimes they clear people off for the Zamboni. We'll film the Zamboni. And so the Zamboni's smoothing out the ice. They often do this at noontime. So we'll just go up, check out the bean. We'll go over to the Maggie Daley ice skating ribbon. Sometimes they clear everybody off of that and do the Zamboni as well. And sometimes when we go over there, we see the Zamboni more associated with NHL hockey rinks, but this is the ice skating rink here in Millennium Park. So when we come back, we'll see if they let people skate here after they smooth out the ice. Sometimes they wait for it to refreeze. So here, let's head up to the Bean. But you can rent skates here, skate in the big, large ice skating rink here along Michigan Avenue, in between Washington and Madison Streets, Michigan Avenue, Millennium Park, Chicago. But there it is. There's the official Christmas tree. They got those big ornaments on it. Look at that. They added this. There, special thank you. They got like this laurel or something here. They're taking pictures. Let me get out their camera. There, they have their photo there. Man, I miss the 80s. We all miss the 80s and 90s. I mainly miss the 90s. I miss the 90s more than the 80s, but I guess I understand why people miss the 80s too. Before AI ruined the world, just look at the stock market. It keeps going up. It's all AI buying everything up. I got a bad feeling it's not going to end up well, but I guess I'm a pessimist. Maybe that's why I saw Terminator. But hey, the Bears play on Friday night. They play the Eagles in Philadelphia. It's going to be a tough game. Yeah, they got, I guess that's over with. We filmed that. They just had that the past week, and they had that Christmas market tent there. Here, let's head around and see the Bean here, the Great Bean of Chicago. And then we'll head right over to Millennium Park there. Hey, Great Bean of Chicago, there it is. Look at that. Yeah, Terminator, existential crisis. We're all going to have that. Yeah, 2.7. Thanks for showing the population of Chicago there. Yeah, we're just under 2.7, like 2.65. That's a city. If you count the suburbs, we're 9.5. Chicago has over 100 suburbs all spread out there. Here's the Great Bean of Chicago, Cloud Gate. Anish Kapoor is the artist from London. They built this around 2004 to 2006. It was refurbished over a year ago. Remember, it was all closed off for a long time. And they finally opened it back up. It's all cleaned up here, the Great Bean of Chicago. So here, let's, what time we got? 12:41. So here, we'll go across the BP Bridge and we'll go over to Maggie Daley, see if people are ice skating there, if they got the Zamboni out. I don't know. Sometimes they do it right at noon when we're trying to film here. Yeah, a lot of people here. Trafalgar Square, yeah, that's in London. I'd love to do some live streaming there. You watch About London. She's got like literally 1 million followers. Her daughter was in Chicago once, and everybody was like, "About London's in Chicago." I said, "No, it's her daughter." But she was using her account. But here we'll cross the. They're working on the Pritzker Bandshell. This is Frank Gehry, the architect. His titanium. Very organic signature architecture style here. And there's the Art Institute Chicago. You can go up that Nichols Bridgeway, but it's closed today. So I usually do about 10 miles a day. That's what we average. I do about 3.5 miles to 4 miles in the morning, 3.5 to 4 at night, and we do 2 to 3 during the lunchtime here, depending on where we go. We'll probably walk at least 2 miles over my lunch break here. I work downtown. I work for an architecture engineering firm, so it's easy for me to just stream my walk into work. I usually walk to work, walk home, or take a bike or take a bus. I don't own a car, but I've lived in Chicago this will be my 27th winter in Chicago without a car. So when it snows, maybe on Saturday, I can just go out and play in the snow. It's nice. Yeah, as long as the weather's good. Yeah, we have long, miserable winters, which, you know, it keeps this city real besides the crime and the high taxes and the expensiveness. Here's the, yeah, look at this beautiful view. This is part of Millennium Park. That's the Aon building, was the Standard Oil building originally. It's Prudential Towers. This is a amphitheater they use mainly in the summertime for music events and movies in the park and assemblies and all kinds of things. Symphony plays here, Symphony in the Park. They have rock concerts and jazz fest and blues fest and EDM dance festivals, like the Chicago House Festival was here. We filmed it. There's the Loop of Chicago. Look at the top of the Sears Tower. The top of the Sears Tower is obscured by clouds there. A true skyscraper, 1,400 feet tall, so the clouds must be around 1,000 feet. It must be above 1,000 because the Aon's 1,100, so it must be like 1,200 foot cloud cover. Yeah. Yeah, they always do the anti-homeless stuff. Yeah, I know. People, one time I filmed underneath the Belmont Avenue Bridge on the north side under the North Branch Chicago River, and there was the dragon tooth cones, so people couldn't pitch a tent under the bridge, and people noticed that. I got so much engagement from that video because everybody noticed those anti-homeless dragon teeth, and it was the irony because there was a mural, like an official mural. It says like "We all belong" or something, and everybody's like, except for the homeless. You know, it was the message. The irony was palpable. But here's the Aon, the Blue Cross Blue Shield. This is called the BP Bridge. This is a pedestrian bridge to get you across Columbus Drive here in Chicago. Millennium Park's that way. There's the Bean. We saw the Bean, whole Skyline Loop. We just walked through there. Frank Gehry Amphitheater. But we're heading across here, 12:45. We got about 50 degrees Fahrenheit. What's that? 10 degrees Celsius. And we're crossing the bridge because the Maggie Daley ice skating ribbon's over here. Either people will be ice skating or they'll have the Zamboni out, which smooths out the ice. It's a machine. Yeah, where's the unruly Julie Reed? She needs to be more unruly. Hope Julie's doing well there. She's been giving us Texas weather reports. Who is the best pizza or hot dog? Yeah, if anybody in the comments you want to weigh in, here's your chance to let us know what you think is the best hot dog or pizza there. You know, I like Pequod's for the caramelized crust. That's my favorite Chicago-style pizza, but not everybody likes that. I do like the Chicago Pizza and Oven Grinder, but it's mainly because it's close to where I live. If anybody got a favorite pizza or favorite hot dog? For my hot dog, I usually go up to Byron's, because usually my friend that gets me into the Cubs games there, he always wants to go to Byron's. And Byron's might not be the best hot dog, but it's good. You go. I went with Ernesto. We went down to Pilsen, but on the way we stopped at Maxwell and Halstead. We went to Jim's Original there on Union Street, and you get your pretty good Polish style, Chicago style hot dog. We need to go to the Vienna beef store. There's a Vienna beef factory on Damon, and you can actually buy hot dogs there, and you can get the kosher Vienna beef, like the ones they serve, all the Vienna beef sausages. Most Chicago hot dog stands proudly display there because it's beef, it's kosher, it's beef, it's a better quality meat historically, and that's why Vienna beef, they got a museum there, and it's on Damon at the North Branch Chicago River near that Costco there, where that bridge, they have an arch bridge there, goes over the river, and there's a Vienna beef store. So we need to get up that way. It's on the list. There's so many places I need to go. I'm always working downtown, so I'm kind of tethered to my job here. But yeah, we'll film the Thanksgiving parade there on Thursday early in the morning here in Chicago. Mexico, how you doing there, Alejandro there? Thanks. Yeah, Larry. Yeah, this used to be the Amoco building. At first it was the Standard Oil, then it was the Amoco. Now it's called the Aon building, 1,100 feet tall. It was the second tallest building in Chicago, just barely taller than the John Hancock, but they built the Trump Tower, which is technically 1,200 feet tall. Even though it's really 1,100, it just has that spire, that 100-foot spire, because Trump, the developer, knew what to do to get the official height. For the second tallest building, it wasn't hard to do. Chicago has a lot of buildings that are right at 1,100. The John Hancock, 875 North Michigan. The St. Regis, which we'll see here, it's 1,100. The Aon Amoco, the Standard Oil building, 1,100. And we got some buildings that are just exactly like 999, just under 1,000. Like the spire, that Prudential is just under 1,000. But here, let's check out Maggie Daley ice skating ribbon here. This is why we came over here. We got about 50 degrees here in Chicago, Illinois. Even though we didn't get into Christkindlmarket because the line was too long, at least we got some ice skating here. So we'll circumnavigate the Maggie Daley ice skating ribbon, and then we'll head back to work. So hey, we were here yesterday. I'll probably work from home tomorrow. If we do anything, we'll go up to Wrigley Field in the evening and check out there's a German market there in Gallagher Way. So here, we'll head around here. We'll show people ice skating here. There you go. So here we'll head to the ice skating rink here, Maggie Daley Park. Hey, see they got the hot chocolate at the Rink Cafe. Get food and drink here. Ice skating ribbon open 7 days a week. There's your times, Mondays through Friday, 11 to 1 p.m., 12 p.m. to 4 p.m., 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. So they take breaks to smooth out the ice. They'll bring out the Zamboni. But here, people are ice skating here. Here's the ice skating ribbon. Yeah, look at this. People skating here, taking pictures. Yeah, very nice day here, 50 degrees. Everybody's having some food here at the Rink Cafe. Yeah, we'll walk around this thing. Nice to see people out and about. I think I can get out this way. Good, yeah, let's go around this way. Hey, there's a electric unicycle there. He's on the one wheel there. Look at that. How you doing? Very nice. Yeah, very nice. How you doing? That's great. So here, we'll head around here. It's amazing. Someone on a one-wheel unicycle on their riding through downtown Chicago expects not to be filmed when they're in public. So I turned to my camera and filmed something else. He obviously indicated to me that he didn't want to be filmed. Good luck with that. It's like you drive in public. You know, if you get in an accident, someone will film you doing your accident because you're in public. You get filmed. They'll use it, and lawyers will use it. I'm usually against using lawyers. I think lawyers have caused a lot of damage in our society, both for good and bad. But here's, yeah, that's the top of the, and I apologize if you're an attorney. Here's the top of the St. Regis. I might need you someday. I know I need to be nicer to my attorneys and lawyers here because, you know, like doctors, nobody likes going to the doctor, but one day you're going to need a doctor, and one day I'm going to need a lawyer, I know. But here's the ice skating ribbon here at Maggie Daley Park, Chicago, Illinois. Look, people are skating without sleeves. Yeah, you can see the Sears Tower there. Got nice music here. Nice and funky music here. Yeah, got Blackhawks fan there. Yeah, look at skating backwards there. Look at the skills. Yeah. I'm amazed how good some people are with their skating skills. They can just hop on this thing and do twirls and skate backwards, the whole thing on curves. Yeah, nice city. Thanks for tuning from Mexico there. You saw it to the left there. Good. Yeah, look at all these show-offs. Hey, she's taking some good some content there. Look at that. Yeah, blowing kisses. Very nice. Look at that. She took a picture there and skating backwards. Very nice. So look at this nice view you get. This is the Maggie Daley ice skating ribbon here, part of Grant Park. It's adjacent to Millennium Park. You can rent your skates right over here. They got restrooms and lockers, and you can check out the prices. You can go online there. I think if you bring your own skates the first time it's free, but I think they make you pay $5 if you need one of these little penguins or things to hang on to. So you can go inside there. That's where you can check out the ice skates. And there's also a place over here I'll show you. We'll walk right by it here. You can check out your skates. You can reserve them online. Just pick them up when you get here. Well, here, the ice skating ribbon here. Maggie Daley Park, Chicago, Illinois. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, this is where you can skate, pick up, and return here. Opens 30 minutes before you check in here. You check in. And here's the prices. $17, $19. Free if you bring your own skates for the first time. Hey, there's the squirrel. So, hey, thanks for checking out the ice skating there. Sorry we didn't get any at Millennium Park, but I'm going to head back to work here. Thanks for tuning in here. We'll be on after 5 o'clock tonight. Maybe I'll start a tad bit early like I did last night. And we'll check out the Christmas lights on Michigan Avenue. We saw them last night, but we'll see them again tonight. And then tomorrow I'll work from home. Actually, you know what? I'm taking off tomorrow. I'm taking off tomorrow, and I'm taking off Friday. So I'll still live stream, but if I sleep in tomorrow It just means I'll do more lives later in the day. So I'll send a message to everybody. But who knows? I might wait. In my old age, even if I stay up late, sometimes I wake up just at 5 o'clock in the morning and I'm just wide awake. So, maybe we'll just keep our normal schedule even though I'm off tomorrow, and we'll do some live streaming. I'll probably head to the grocery store tomorrow, get my last minute Thanksgiving garnishes there. I already got a turkey. Has everybody got your turkey Thanksgiving Day meal plan there? People traveling. Some people might go out to dinner. Yeah, we got the Thanksgiving holiday. I'll film I plan on, as long as I can wake up on Thursday, we'll go to the parade there on Thursday. It's going to be early. There's going to be the turkey trot. They have a fun run. I don't know how long it is. I got to figure out where that starts. There's all kinds of stuff happening this weekend. But we'll try to get maybe tomorrow night, once it gets dark, maybe we'll head up to Wrigley Field, and they got a Christkindlmarket at Gallagher Way in Wrigley Field, and we'll check that out. We did that years past too. You used to be able to get on the field, but I don't think they're doing it anymore. Now, Sox Park has lights where you could drive through, but you gotta, you pay for the vehicle and you drive through the parking lot. They got lights set up in the parking lot for right field there. So I probably won't do that because I don't have a car, and I don't think they'll just let me walk through it. You got to pay. But maybe somebody else will film that. I did that with my cousin Mike. We did that in Cincinnati. We went to Coney Island and we filmed the drive-through in Cincinnati. There's a rerun of that with music and everything. Maybe I'll recycle that. Happy holidays there. Freight elevators in the Aeon, I bet they are. Yeah, they have Aeon has 2-story elevators. How do those work? So even in odd floors, I think the Empire State Building or the World Trade Center in New York City used to have those where they had 2-story elevators. So every time the elevator went up, it took 2 floors at the same time. And if you wanted an even floor, you went to one level. If you want an odd floor, you went to the other level. That's the Aeon building here. It's 80 stories tall. The Mid-America Club used to be at the top. Is it still the Mid-America Club? I don't know. Here they got some holiday decorations. Yeah, let's walk right through here. We can walk right through. Hopefully they'll let me go through. I might lose my connection, but we're near the end of the live anyway. So if I lose my connection, I'll try to come back and sign off. But we're going to walk through the bottom. There's like a food court at the bottom of the Aeon Standard Oil building. There used to be a post office here, but they even closed that down. So but here they got some Santa sleigh and some ornaments and things here. This is the Aeon Tower here. That's Randolph Street, and there's the Chicago. We'll head over this way. Yeah, sometimes the Chicago River freezes over in wintertime. I'll show it to you if it does. We've shown that in years past. There's the top of the whole Prudential 2 tower. We'll head right through the food court here. So I'll kind of keep my voice low until we get through. I don't want the corporate security to heckle me here. So you can get to the Aeon Center there. We'll head right through here. We'll go through the pedway here. I'm trying to get to the pedway. Smells good though. You can connect to the Prudential 1 here. I'll most certainly lose my connection because we're going underneath Stetson, which is the street above us here. So we're going underneath the street. We're still above the ground. We're in the space between the underneath them for the lower level streets. And this is how you connect to the Prudential 2 tower from the Aeon. It's a nice shortcut. I think I'm losing my connection here, but we'll try to get it back. So hey, welcome to Chicago. We're in the Prudential 2 here. At the end of this live here, we got 1258. Hey, you got donuts here. Beacon Donuts at Dollop Coffee Company there. Yeah, you go over there. You got a Panda Express here. There's an Amazon Go. This is the Prudential 2 tower. And we'll pop right out by the Giordano's. And they got the Christmas lights here right near where I work. And here, just solid. So that'll connect to Prudential 1. You can get to the Millennium station that way without going outside. And there's ways to connect all the way around to the Fairmont Hotel. You can actually get to the Sofitel without going outside, but it's kind of a maze. We've done it before, but I always lose my connection. So hey, welcome to Chicago. Welcome to Prudential 2 Plaza. Hey, we're in it with these lights here. So thanks, mods. Thanks, everybody else. Thanks for tuning in. Hope we had a nice, fun walk here today. We saw some ice skating. And we'll see the lights on Michigan Avenue tonight. You can check out the reruns both on YouTube and TikTok. We'll be back on after 5 o'clock tonight. We'll be walking home, and then we'll stream tomorrow. Have a great Thanksgiving if I don't see you. Everybody have a great, safe travels. Happy holiday, happy Thanksgiving. I'll be streaming I plan on streaming the Thanksgiving parade in Chicago on Thursday morning. It's going to start early, like 8 in the morning, and go to 11. I don't know if we'll be able to stream the whole thing. Ernesto, Chicago Nuggies, and others are going to be streaming. That's the Hazel Johnson mural by Mr. Super A there from the Netherlands. Hazel Johnson, environmental justice in the city. You can look her up there, trailblazer. And so let's head out of here. I'm going to head back to work. Giordano's. Yeah, Giordano's Chicago style pizza. Here's one. This is probably one of the closest ones to Millennium Park if you want some Chicago style pizza. If you're down here for ice skating or checking out the tree. Yeah, thanks Grandma's Corner. Thanks for being on there, Christy, Merc. Thanks Margler, Margie. And I would like a big #1 there. Yeah, #1 Big Mac meal there. Happy Thanksgiving there. And Tea Lime Tea Time. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Alejandro. Mary Therese, thanks so much for being on. Thanks for your help. Mary Therese, have a great Thanksgiving. And we'll be in touch there, the whole mod team. And yeah, see, we just walked through that building. So hey, have a good rest of your Tuesday. We'll see you after 5 o'clock tonight. Thanks a lot, everybody. Appreciate it. The Ruby Raven, Tea Lime Tea Time, lovely. Angie Love, West Green. Yeah, we'll